At least 3 people have been wounded in Thailand as anti-government demonstrations continue ahead of Sunday's election. Gunshots and explosions have been heard in the capital, Bangkok. Okay, let's get a bit more on what's happening there in Thailand. Anti-government protesters have been calling for the Prime Minister, Yingluck Shinawatra, to resign. The demonstrations all began in November with the passing of a controversial amnesty bill. Critics saying that legislation paved the way for the return of the Prime Minister's brother, the self-exiled former PM Thaksin Shinawatra. The protests increased a few weeks later when the Constitutional Court rejected the bill, saying ruling party lawmakers acted illegally. In December, police in Bangkok allowed protesters to stage a symbolic occupation of the police headquarters and the Prime Minister's offices. 5 days later, Yingluck Shinawatra called for early elections, saying she is dissolving the lower house of parliament, and now anti-government protesters say they will boycott the vote. Let's talk to Professor Kriengsak Jerungwongsak, who's president of the Institute of Future Studies for Development in Thailand, joining us now from Bangkok. Professor, if the opposition's boycotting the vote, then it looks almost certain that Mrs. Shinawatra is going to be returned to power. How can this dangerous situation be diffused after we've had the vote?
I suppose after the vote, if it happened in not so bloody scene, maybe it will be clear to both sides that this cannot go on without some negotiation. And I believe that when one side is weakened, I don't know which side would be, they will start negotiating easier. Now both sides are thinking they can win, and both sides have a full capability of thinking that they can win, and the balance of power is almost equal when you take all factors in consideration. This is why there's no negotiation in an effective way thus far. And tomorrow, when the final day comes, when election is technically will be held, but it will not be complete anyway because there's so many seats where it is not even being registered, and there will not be enough member of parliaments to have a quorum to choose a new prime minister anyway. So it take maybe many more months, between 3 to 6 months, for this entire process that is very complicated to be done completely so that you can form a new government. So this is a period which is going to be very difficult for anyone to be able to rule. And because of the caretaking government has limited power at this time, they can't deal with any financial issues. Ruling is going to be hard. And you can see the resistance is so strong from the opposition and the protesters.
So what is
some
that going
kind
to
of
mean
negotiation
to
has
the
to happen.
Thai economy? Every day when there is this kind of confrontation on the streets, a country pretty much paralysed in terms of what it can and cannot earn. Presumably the tourist dollar's going down because people are worried about coming to Thailand, and the prospects for any kind of development in the next few months look pretty slim.
You see, so far the economy has been hit slightly only. Amazingly, it has been hit, yes, but slightly. But it will be hit much more if we continue in much longer period. Therefore, we're going to see, depends on how much it turn out in terms of bloodshed tomorrow. If it's a lot and it's escalating and it cannot be tamed, maybe it will be hit much more than what it is. It has been hit already, but we'll see how far it can go.
Is this the end of the Shinawatra dynasty? Can Thaksin ever return? Can his system maintain any semblance of a grip on power?
In fact, Thaksin and his capability of establishing his power root in Thailand is very strong. Unless he agreed voluntarily to step down and to cease from politics, it could be very hard to uproot him totally. It would take a long time, put it this way, before be uprooted, even whoever come in and do it. But let's see what the scenario will pan out to be. If there's an amicable solution, some kind of a deal, maybe it can be done.
Well, Professor, thank you very much indeed. We sincerely hope that the predictions of violence do not materialise. Good to have you with us.